Finkelstein, the prep school basketball guru, and should be another great one on tap. All chalk in this tournament right now. Number 1, Tilton versus number 2, St. Andrews. Should be a tight one here today.
It should be a great game. Got a lot of offensive firepower on both teams. I'd expect a high-scoring affair. We've got a great crowd here. I think it's going to be a great game.
Should be a good one on tap. So right now, the starters already introduced. We're about to get underway here at the Murray Center. Tilton wearing the black uniforms with gold numerals today. St. Andrews in the white with red numerals. As Tilton will be moving from right to left across your screen. St. Andrews from left to right quickly through the starters for the Tilton Rams. It'll be Eric Beckett, Marcus Zegarowski, Max Zegarowski, Christian Hinkson, and Deshaun Woods. For St. Andrews, Bryson Goodine, Robert Baum, Cole Swider, Nevin Zink, and Dylan Grant. Opening tip goes the way of the Saints, and we are underway for the NEPSAC Class AA championship game.
And Cole Swider, number 10 in white, is the guy to watch for the Saints. The Villanova signee is a skilled scoring forward who can put points up in bunches.
Quick steal right away for Tilton, and then a foul on St. Andrews. It's going to get charged to Nevin Zink.
And then for Tilton, number 11 in black, Marcus Zegarowski, coming off a 57-point performance in a double overtime semifinal win over South Kent. Less than 24 hours ago, he is signed with Creighton.
Yeah, 118 to 116, the final score in that double overtime thriller to get Tilton here to the championship game. But there's the big dunk. Cole Swider throwing it down.
See his open floor athleticism, known as a shooter, but he's far from one-dimensional.
Marcus Zegarowski able to get over and get it back. Now leaves it for his brother, Max Zegarowski. Little floater in the lane, won't drop. Rebound for Hinkson. And tied up underneath, they're going to get a travel call on Eric Beckett.
It's going to be really important for St. Andrews to be able to handle the depth of Tilton's front line. These are two of the deeper teams up front in Class AA. But Tilton's got big bodies, but also strong bodies who are rugged down there. That's going to be a key for St. Andrews to be able to hold their own in the paint.
Three-pointer on the way from Baum, no good. Easy rebound that time for Deshaun Woods. Now Marcus Zegarowski. Zegarowski trying to break down Goodine. Can't get it to go, and quickly the other way, Baum now. Leaving it for Bryson Goodine.
Goodine only a junior, but already made a verbal commitment to Syracuse, number 0 in white. Really starting to come into his own, highly talented guard.
Swider's three-pointer won't go. Rebound that time to Christian Hinkson. Hinkson, the high dribble, lost the handle. Swider there with the swipe.
Good hustle that time. Getting back into the play was Deshaun Woods, 33 in black.
Zegarowski came up with the steal on the other end, and that one knocked out of bounds by Nevin Zink. These two teams quickly up and down the floor in the early going, but only 2 points for this teams combined.
Well, you know, we talked about this in the opener. I think in a game like this, nerves certainly play a factor, and fatigue is going to play a factor in this one. I mean, both of these guys had both of these teams, had hard-fought emotional games yesterday. So to be able to recover, not just physically, but also emotionally, going to be really important.
Yeah, this tournament truly was chalk for this Class AA. As Zegarowski misses from the outside, it was 2 versus 3 yesterday. St. Andrews pulling off the 6-point win over Cushing Academy. And then, of course, that high-scoring 118-116 affair, 1 versus 4 in the other semifinal with Tilton coming out on top. When you got to wonder how fatigue will affect probably Tilton a little bit more than St. Andrews.
Yeah, you would think.
And a little bit of an issue that time with the shot clock, as obviously should not be down to 16 seconds. There was not a reset there after the turnover by St. Andrews. Now reset it here on the near side. Right in front of us, inbounding duties fall to Eric Beckett. Now Zegarowski.
Tilton making their 2nd consecutive appearance in the AA final. They fell to Cushing a year ago, that team that featured current Virginia Tech freshman Wabisa Beatty.
Woods the miss on the outside. Easy rebound for Swider. Goodine will leave it outside for Baum as he backs it up, stared down by Beckett. Baum now leaves it for Dylan Grant. On the inside they go, but the rejection.
Well, Nevin Zink
called for the foul.
Yeah, Nevin Zink made a good, crafty pivot there to open up what looked like an easy two, but Christian Hinkson, who is incredibly long, comes back in to take away that layup.
Yeah, can't miss him with the bright purple shoes, but picking up the personal that time, putting Zink at the line.
I didn't notice the bright purple shoes. Those are, now that you mention it, those are pretty bright, yeah.
Great work by our team here on YurView to get you a look at those shoes. Second attempt coming out now for Zink to make it. Would have made it 4-0, but the miss and the rebound from Marcus Zegarowski. Zegarowski making his move to the hoop, and that time draws contact with Zink, and that's already 2 fouls now on Zink.
And that's the basketball IQ of Zegarowski, recognizing the mismatch he has, going downhill against Zink and being able to take it right into his body to attract that foul.
Zegarowski from quite the basketball family. His brother Michael Carter Williams currently on the Hornets. Obviously his brother Max playing here with them today, and his sister Macy playing just up the road at Bryant University for the Bulldogs.
And ironically enough, Michael Carter Williams starred at St. Andrews.
So you wonder who he's really rooting for today, his
No,
alma mater or the family.
I don't think you do, yeah. I think that one's pretty clear.
Well, here we go, 3-ball all the way from Beckett, and the first points of the day for Tilton.
Eric Beckett, a versatile junior. He's got that broad, strong body. He can get into the paint, but he can also knock down shots.
Beckett out of Ajax, Ontario in Canada. Nice little slide towards the hoop, and the finish off the glass from Robert Baum.
Quick advance by Tilton.
Hinkson, too many steps. Nope, they're gonna get a block. Very close to a travel that time on Hinkson.
Well, it was a good attack. That's where Hinkson is at his best, in the open floor. Marcus Zegarowski quickly recognizing the advantage, getting it up the court. Tilton attacking St. Andrews in the open floor, and already 3 fouls on St. Andrews front court, so that's going to be something to watch.
Zegarowski cutting through the lane, left it a little bit short. A loose ball, though, scooped up by Woods, and he is tied up and then fouled. The foul starting to pile up early on St. Andrews. And that one charged to Robert Baum. Tilton now with a fresh 30 seconds. Zegarowski steps out for 3, no good. And the rebound to the hands of Godine. On the edge of the lane, off the glass and in as he took it right at Eric Beckett.
Well, it was really good defense there by Beckett to be able to go completely vertical, but an even better offensive play from Godine, absorbing that contact, going right into the chest and converting through the contact.
Max Zegarowski now for 3. The high archer drops in for a tray.
And that's what Max Zegarowski does so well, and when he starts making them, he can make them in bunches. Has had 10 threes in a game before in this very gym.
Slider. Lost the handle for a moment, but was able to flip it outside for Sean Christie. And now from deep, Robert Baum connects for 3. You almost feel the energy advantage early on for St. Andrews, but Beckett answers that one. Second 3 of the game for him.
Well, that's the second time that Tilton has countered a St. Andrews hoop by going right at them and attacking them in the open floor.
Slider now from the outside, nothing but net for him. As both teams starting to heat up.
Here comes Tilton again.
Oh, the rejection. Bryson Godine saying, not so fast, Mr. Beckett.
Showing his length and athleticism to get back in that play.
Take another look here at that last block. Beckett thought he had a wide open look, which he did for a moment, but Godine timing it perfectly.
And closing that gap in a hurry.
Outside, Zegarowski to his brother now. Marcus Zegarowski, picked up by Godine. Skips it over to Max Zegarowski as they continue to play catch here on the perimeter. A little behind the back pass, 3-ball on the way off the mark. Easy rebound for Kolick. Brandon Kolick, a senior out of Cumberland, Rhode Island. Now backed up here by Godine.
Brandon Kolick has scored over 2,000 points in his high school career. 4 years first at Cumberland and now over here at St. Andrews School. So making the most out of that extra year, but an incredible high school season he's had.
Quick ball movement here. Zagorowski nearly jumped on top of Godine, and Godine wound up missing the jumper. A lot of contact there, let go, and Zagorowski takes it all the way in.
Yeah, how about the acceleration on that and then the touch? And again, this is a guy who's got to be exhausted after playing almost 50 minutes yesterday. 57 points, it's just incredible.
Yeah, almost half the team's points out of the 118 they scored. And as we have a foul on Tilton. Now here we'll take another look at Marcus Zagorowski in transition, absorbed the bump from Godine, and then the little scoop shot with some English off the glass. Nifty little finish.
Well, he's always been a layup maker. He's got great touch and body control, the ability to extend his arm away and make tough layups.
And the foul against Cole Swider. He's not so happy with it. Felt his jersey was being grabbed. That'll be his first personal. Max Zagorowski having a little conversation with the official as well.
You know, these kids have been playing on a big stage for a long time, believe it or not. They're still so young, but these moments are not new to them. The Zagorowski, Swiders, these guys have, from EYBL to the highest levels of prep school basketball for years. This is nothing new to them.
Long range jumper is good. They're gonna give him a 3 on that one. Bryson Godine gives St. Andrews a 16-11 lead.
And we are playing the blue lines here today, in terms of the arc, that is.
And there's some more contact. Marcus Zagorowski running into Bryson Godine, but Godine will pick up the personal. Here's another look at that last 3, little step back, clearly behind the blue line and in.
And you could see he thought it was good as soon as it left his hand. He was already on his way to the other side, and that's already 6 team fouls on St. Andrews. So the next one, and for the rest of the way, Tilton's going to be in the bonus.
Max Zagorowski working the baseline and laying it off the glass.
Quick finish from Zagorowski. Sometimes that's even more important than being able to elevate, the ability to finish quickly.
Around the perimeter it goes now. Kolick over for Baum. Godine, the floater. Took an extra little bounce off the rim. This time jump by Woods, but coming down with it was Tilton's Cal Connolly. Cameron Parker now. The handoff for Connolly, gets it back. Working against Kolick. Leaves it outside. Zagorowski for 3, no good. And the rebound to Kolick.
Well, when Parker comes into the game, Zagorowski able to move off the ball and really look to establish himself as more of a scorer.
Long 3 from Godine, no good, but Kolick there to deliver the tray.
That's what Kolick does. He is a sharp shooter. He's got that strong body and pretty good size in the wing, but important for other guys to step up here and not just rely on Cole Swider. Certainly they're doing that so far.
Zagorowski, the hesitation 3 that time with Swider trying to close him out.
Well, again, he loves this gym, and that's going to be a lesson for Swider. You got to have your hand up.
A lot of contact. The bodies of Swider and Zagorowski continue to battle. Inside it goes, the spin move, and pretty finish by Quinlivan.
Yeah, tough footwork there. The big man from the Midwest.
Outside, kicked out here. Connolly taking it in. Dump off for Woods, and just left it a little short.
Couple really nice passes from Tilton. They continue to run on makes.
Godine thought about 3, now finds Swider. Swider, pull up for 3, left it short. Right into the midst of Deshaun Woods. Ahead it goes, Parker now. Driving to the basket, but stripped away by Baum. A clean takeaway. Coast to coast off the glass, no good. Kolick there to keep it alive, nope. Zagorowski the other way. To the corner it goes, Parker for 3, got it.
Back and forth they go. Tilton has really been able to thrive every time they've gotten loose in the open court.
Timeout called by Tilton, perhaps just to give his guys a rest. We'll be back with more here from the Murray Center on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
And welcome back to the Murray Center here in Providence. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Finkelstein, and end-to-end action here early on. The Tilton, the #1 seed, trailing by 2 to a hot shooting St. Andrews team.
Well, they are, and this is a game you see Marcus Zagorowski, quick in and out, change in direction move, just enough to freeze Jack Quinniblin. And then the kick out, Cameron Parker, normally the distributor, that time he let Zagorowski create for him.
Yeah, good presence of mind there by Zagorowski to find the open man on the
Yeah, that's what he was going for
attempt
the whole time, just trying to freeze the big fella and open up that kick out pass.
St. Andrews going back to work on the inside, but flying back to deflect it out of bounds. Cameron Parker, the senior out of Portland, Oregon.
Good rotation on the weak side of the press there. Take away what looked like a layup. Watch Swider stepping back here.
And now Swider to the rim again, and that time able to take advantage of the smaller Parker who was charging out at him, but really no chance for Parker.
Well, that's what differentiates him. When people run him off the line, he can make you pay in that two-point area as well. He's very good at attacking closeouts.
Tilton now goes to work through Hinkson, who's able to drop it in off the glass.
Well, that's going to be a mismatch problem all night long if Hinkson's able to establish those driving lanes.
Baum with a hand in his face, can't get it to go. Zagorowski now back the other way.
Got a mismatch in transition.
To his brother. Won't fall, but the rebound into the hands of Cameron Parker. Oh, airmailed that pass, though, out of the reach of Cal Connolly, and it'll be a backcourt violation. It's a little too helter-skelter that time for the Rams.
Yeah, but both of these teams will get going in the open floor. They'll be content to play up and down. And remember, this is a bigger court than they are typically accustomed to. Especially St. Andrews. The St. Andrews court is much smaller than this college-sized court.
St. Andrews out of Barrington, Rhode Island. Tilton out of Tilton, New Hampshire.
See him attack those closeouts again. That's why he's such a hard guard, because you need to run him off the arc, but he can make you pay to both sides.
Christian Hinkson picking up his second personal as Swider got the step on him that time. Fresh 30 seconds now for the Saints. Kolek surveys the scene and drops it in now for Swider. Beckett back in to challenge him. A little handoff for Baum, curling around. Back to Swider, now mismatch against Parker. Snakes his way around Beckett. Around it goes, 3-ball from Baum, no good. Volleyballed around into the hands of Swider, forced up a wild one. Thought he had drawn contact, officials say play on.
Well, he needed to finish that with his left hand. He came back right, and it allowed the shot to get thrown off.
Beckett for three, and once again, Eric Beckett hitting from downtown.
Well, Cal Connolly that time with the extra pass. Beckett has had a hot hand early on, and Cal Connolly is an exceptional passer.
Tilton regains the lead on that shot. That one off of the hands of Connolly will stay with St. Andrews. Under 7 minutes to play. Here's another look at that last three from Beckett. Guy charging out at him, no problem. Well, the junior out of Canada. On the inside though, Kolek will do it on the outside and on the inside.
Well, the Tilton defense was preoccupied with Swider popping to the corner, so a quick slip.
Corner three won't fall that time for Connolly. Swider the rebound, and we're gonna get a pushing foul against Cameron Parker. Right along the baseline. And it looks like Tilton will check Deshaun Woods back in, giving Max Zagorowski a bit of a rest. Cameron Wilkins now checking in for St. Andrews. First time we've seen him today as Godine heads to the bench.
Both teams going into their bench. Remember, they just played yesterday, less than 24 hours to recover, so very important to keep bodies fresh.
That one off the foot of Woods. Sean Christie now quickly in for Kolek. St. Andrews facing a little bit of backcourt pressure here this time as Tilton extends the defense. 10-second violation. Zagorowski's pumped up. The Tilton faithful pumped up as well as they force the violation.
And again, for Zagorowski to just have energy and not be in an ice bath somewhere after what he had to go through yesterday it's so impressive.
Oh, to be young again. Huh?
I was never that young. I don't know about you. But.
Here's Zagorowski for three. That one too strong. Rebound, though, by Woods. And the possession kept alive for Tilton. Beckett penetrating, now kicking it out. Parker on the drive. The kick out for Zagorowski. Three ball, no good. And it's Christie the rebound.
But Tilton, the ability to get multiple paint touches in the same possession and have patience in that drive and kick game, they're getting good looks at the basket.
Around the perimeter it goes now for Kolick. Slider on the bench right now for St. Andrews. Quick double team underneath. But a long-range shot, no good from Wilkins. However, there to clean up the mess, Nevin Zink. Zagorowski will lead the charge once again.
Well, an offensive possession that wasn't pretty, but Zink able to establish that position, get opposite on the shot. Tilton continuing to space the floor, drive and kick. It's a pretty brand of basketball the Rams are playing right now.
Wide open look for Cal Connolly, and he buries it from distance.
All five players on the floor right now for Tilton are able to shoot the ball with range. They're utilizing that versatility to space the floor and then sharing it beautifully.
Circus shot will not go for Baum. Zagorowski the rebound. All right, and the fancy dribble that time to himself. The kick out for three. Got it, Cameron Parker. And that really gets the crowd going here in Providence. Timeout on the floor. We will take one too. Tilton on top, 30-27. We'll be back with more right here on YurView. And welcome back to the Murray Center here in Providence. 4:54 remaining in the first half. We'll take another look. Here's that fantastic dribble. What a move by Zagorowski. Behind the back pass, and then the three ball from Parker.
But to me, the most impressive part about that, with all due respect to the behind the back dribble with the flash, was the continued extra pass. Tilton has done that beautifully in the last few minutes, and they're getting rhythm looks from three as a result.
Strong move to the hoop that time from Bryson Godine. Is going to draw contact. Tilton coaching staff not so thrilled with that, but they will put Godine at the line.
Got to be there in time, have your feet set on the contact, though.
So that one getting charged to Marcus Zagorowski, his first personal. Perfect looking free throw that time from Godine. Makes it a 2-point game. Godine now with 6 points for the Saints.
A lot of balance in the St. Andrews score sheet right now.
Second one good as well, and it's a 1-point contest.
Swider and Godine both have 7. Baum has 5.
Parker off the skip pass was fouled in the act of shooting the three. He'll head to the line with 3 chances at some freebies. Godine flying by that time and getting too much of Parker. Parker, who does have a little bit of a different looking shot on those three-pointers.
No, he's got a low release on his shot, but his game is being able to get in the lane and then spit it out. So he really thrives with the floor spacing that this team has. When opposing defenses are as spaced out as they are, he can get in there, track 2 defenders, find the open shooter. That's where he's at his best. He had 17 assists in one game this season. In fact, set the school record for assists in a game twice. Broke his own record a couple weeks ago.
And now having a pretty good game early on. 8 points already for Cameron Parker. Make it 9 as he converts all 3 free throws. 4.5 to go in the first half. St. Andrews down by 4. Three-pointer from Godin, too strong. Parker there in the mix again. Dribbles out of trouble. Leaves it off for Beckett, who bounces off his defender. Gets it to go and one. As Robert Baum a little too late in sliding over.
Well, the difference in this game right now is that Tilton is making the extra pass and getting open shots, whereas St. Andrews is content to take tough shots. And when you take tough shots, this is what happens, especially when they're long shots, long rebounds and run-out opportunities.
And that time Baum literally bouncing off of Beckett. So strong. Just
no, he is. He certainly is.
Built like a truck. Does not get the free throw to go, but Tilton out to its largest lead of the game. 6 points. Godin.
Wow.
I don't know how we held on to that
Big
and
time
released
move,
it from
yeah.
almost behind the backboard, but still managed to get it in. He's got 9.
Yeah, great body control and a big time finish.
Parker. There's what should have been an assist perhaps, but Woods unable to finish. Slider. Has to back it out. Now gets it back from Kolick. Little pullback jumper that time is good for 3. Got just behind the three-point line.
That's just a big-time player making a big-time shot.
Good spatial awareness to make sure he was behind that blue line. Zagorowski now trying to force his way in. Got caught up in the air and turned it over to Slider. Slider now. A chance to give his team the lead back. Here's Kolick. Such a pure scorer. Brandon Kolick delivering again.
And St. Andrews responding to take the lead back. Quick 5-0 run.
Zagorowski now looking for a screen from his brother. Matched up against Slider this time. Finds a little soft space down the lane and gets the friendly roll.
Well, again, that layup making touch. The finger roll over an extended arm. Landing soft on the rim so he gets the roll.
Constant nearly turned it over as Parker got a hand on it. Kolick for 3, won't drop. A little touch pass that time from Zagorowski to Parker. Parker in off the glass again, and St. Andrews really struggling to find a way to slow down Cameron Parker.
Well, Goodine never got in front of Parker's left hand that time, and then Tilton forgets about the big fella. I'm not sure he ever crossed half court. Jack Quinlivan.
Able to beat everybody down the floor that time, and inside the lane, Quinlivan picking up a foul as Deshaun Woods going up for the shot. Quinlivan's first, actually that's his second personal here in the first half.
And I believe Zink has 2 as well. So now Tilton is short a body. Joey Glenn, who's committed to UMass Lowell, not in the lineup. So down one body in the front line, and that's an important loss for Tilton because they normally have just an incredibly deep front court.
So a 1-point game, a chance to make it a 2-point lead. Deshaun Woods. And that one is good.
Woods, a Texas native, here for a post-grad year. Just got his first Division I offer last week.
Godin trying to make something happen. Has Kolick in the corner. He'll dribble towards the hoop. Spin moving in.
Big time move. The Cumberland native delighting the local crowd.
Back the other way though. Woods tipped it back out, but not to his teammate. It's Bryson Godin. His spin moving in.
We are seeing him grow up in front of our eyes. That's the second time he's made a big time play.
Back-to-back spin moves, Kolick and then Godin. And St. Andrews the lead. Zagorowski looking for the tray, but that won't drop. Constant now will slow it down a bit for the Saints as we are under a minute and a half to play in the first half. Slider trying to take Zagorowski, and just couldn't get the shot to fall, but contact on the baseline. Looks to be going against Tilton.
Well, Slider, that quick step back, was able to freeze his defender, but watch Godin there on the spin. His hands are so impressive. It's the same thing, same characteristic on the up and under he had before, the ability to control the ball and have such good touch.
Last foul charge to Cal Connolly. A Slider. Leaves it outside. That one too long, and then two Saints fighting for the ball. And it deflects out of bounds off of the miss from Nevin Zink. Just over a minute left now. It's been a tight one throughout. Just as we had in the first game today, the Class A championship. It's Cameron Parker making it look easy.
Well, it is easy when he's allowed to go to his left-hand side like that. I'm not sure why St. Andrews isn't just trying to force him to go right.
Now there's a scoop shot on the other end from Godin, no good. And fighting for the rebound was Zink, and oh boy, they're gonna get Zink for the foul. Much to the dismay of this mostly pro St. Andrews crowd. And that's his third personal. Coach Hart can't believe it either.
Yeah, and hard to see from our vantage point, but based on what we did see, it was a questionable call to say the least.
And to make matters worse for St. Andrews, it does put Woods at the line. As Tilton in the double bonus the rest of the way.
Well, and more so than that, with less than a minute to go in the game, it just sends Zink for now, and you see Zink just told the official, he said, that's my third. So Zink knew it, and you know, it puts him in a tough spot with only now 2 to play with in the second half.
Missing on the first was Woods, chance to take the lead, and he does. About a 13-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock here down the stretch for the end of this first half. Constant for Kolick. Kolick decides to go for three. Won't go. Swider might have got away with one. Off the glass, won't go. Gets his own rebound and will head to the line shooting two.
You know, one of the things that's interesting is watching the dynamics between Swider and his teammates and Zigorowski and his teammates. Those are the obvious two unquestioned leaders of these teams, and they are getting on their guys. And that time when Tilton wasn't able to get that block out, Zigorowski not happy with his teammates.
Foul was charged to Deshaun Woods. Swider converts the first. Swider now up to 11 points. And make it 12 for the young man heading to Villanova.
He's had to work for him, though. They have not come easy.
Three-pointer, Parker. That one doesn't fall, and 12 seconds now for St. Andrews to add to their lead. Swider, hold up the dribble, swings it over.
Swider's got it up.
Godin.
Wow.
To the rack at the buzzer, won't go, but St. Andrews were able to lead this one at the break, 44-33, and very exciting first half here at the Murray Center, and pretty much all we expected here this afternoon.
It has been as good as advertised. I'll tell you what, though, Bryson Godin stealing the show, missed that chippy, but he has had some wow moments here in the first half. The Syracuse commit showing why Jim Boeheim saw enough to call it early.
Well, time for us to step aside for just a few moments. When we come back, we'll have the first half highlights from here at the Murray Center in Providence. You're watching the NEPSAC Class AA Championship on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, honoring Mary Maskell. Mary Maskell founded the Women's History Museum of California, one of few museums in the nation focusing on women's contributions in both history and the arts.
She started by collecting historical artifacts, books, clothing, anything that could also be used really as a teaching tool. Mary's aim in starting this organization was to bridge that gap for both students and for adults who didn't have the opportunity to learn as much as they could have about women in history and about their really remarkable contributions.
With exhibits that feature the female spirit, honor the trailblazers, and explore the women's movement, the mission of the museum is to inspire the future by preserving the past.
Our aim is to make sure that we are preserving as many women's stories as possible so that they're available for future generations.
Proudly brought to you by YurView.
And welcome back to the Murray Center here in Providence. We are at the half of the NEPSAC Class AA Championship game. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Finkelstein, and it's been certainly an entertaining first half. St. Andrews enjoying a 44-43 lead, and certainly end-to-end action and plenty of exciting finishes for both squads.
Well, up and down they go. I'll tell you what, I think Tilton and specifically Marcus Zagorowski, a little tired, hasn't been able to find his shooting stroke yet, but you can nonetheless see his impact on the game. Tilton doing a good job controlling Cole Swider, not giving him anything easy, but Bryson Goodine really emerging as the wild card for St. Andrews, while Tilton's ability to move the basketball and make threes has been their key.
Certainly we've discussed that there were a lot of exciting plays. Time to check out some of the highlights from the first half.
Well, right off the bat, that was the opening bucket of the game. Cole Swider, he's excited. That's probably the easiest one he's going to have all night long. Then Eric Beckett from Marcus Zagorowski. That was really the key for Tilton. Their ability to make the extra pass and then get open threes in rhythm just was the way in which they scored the majority of their points. You see another one there, and that's really just the tip of the iceberg. But Bryson Goodine there making a big defensive play. The majority of his plays were on the offensive end. So many highlight level plays in the open court.
Well, certainly an exciting first half. Plenty more action to come here, as this is game 2 of our triple header on YurView. We've already had an exciting Class A championship game with Choke taking it all the way down to the wire, winning that one in the first game today. And of course, later on, we'll have the Class AAA championship game as well. So time for us to step aside one more time. We'll be back with more here at the intermission of the NEPSAC Class AA championship game on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just Maddie she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, spotlighting the Women's March. Since 2017, millions of women around the globe have marched to bring awareness to a range of important issues.
Women are affected in every marginalized community, every aspect of our society. The most important thing is that people recognize women's rights are human rights.
The Women's March has attracted a diverse group of women, all committed to creating social change.
And these movements allowed a lot of women who wouldn't have spoken up to speak up for the first time and know that they have this voice of a million women behind them, helping them to speak up.
A key goal of the Women's March is to encourage all women to vote.
So it's important for us to now have our voices heard, and voting is the basic way to do it. People are getting a sense of being stronger together. I think in the long run we'll see those effects making a difference in everyone's lives.
This celebration of Women's History Month is proudly brought to you by YurView. YurView celebrates Women's History Month with Patricia Marquez, Dean of the Kroc School of Peace Studies.
The Kroc School of Peace Studies is an endeavor of the University of San Diego to educate for peaceful coexistence. And we address issues of injustice, we address issues of inequality, we address issues of oppression. And these might seem like they're big terms, but they manifest itself in everyday interactions. We are not going to address the problems of the century doing more of the same. And that requires guts, that requires creativity, and that's what you come here to learn.
Now celebrating its 10th anniversary, the school has become a global hub for peace building.
Now we are going to be thousands of peacemakers and change makers all over the world. It only takes a small group of people to change the world, and that's what we're building here at the Joan B. Kroc School of Peace Studies.
This celebration of Women's History Month is proudly brought to you by YurView.
Family time starts anytime with Disney Family Movies on demand.
Magic plays here.
This month, we've got Champions on Ice with the original Mighty Ducks.
Let's fly! Yeah!
Plus, the fish out of water fantasy, Splash, along with a shaggy dog, a silly old bear, and a high-flying hero.
Go get him, kid.
Check out our Facebook page for all the latest info about Disney Family Movies.
Get the magic of Disney for one low monthly price with On Demand from Cox.
Hey, Mr. Thompson, you know how you were so mad about going over on your mobile data plan? Well, we're Cox customers, and this is one of over 500,000 Cox hotspots, totally included in most Cox internet packages. Look, go to your mobile settings, click on Cox Wi-Fi, then plug in your Cox username and password, and then you're on Wi-Fi. And you could, like, stream that video of my band, literally no problem.
Find free hotspots because you're a Cox high-speed internet customer. Cox.com/learn.
And welcome back once again to the Murray Center on the campus of Rhode Island College. We are at the half of the NEPSAC Class AA Championship game. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Finkelstein, and obviously a good one on hand here. I'm sure many of you viewing at home, basketball junkies, and if you want some more great insider knowledge on the game of basketball, look no further than the Upside podcast hosted by Adam right here. And Adam, just a great job early on with the podcast, and so many interesting guests and so many great insights from some of these guys.
Well, I have to get interesting people because people aren't going to come on and listen to me. So that's, but we've been very fortunate, you know, most recently to have Tom Crean. He gave us some awesome insight, kind of the way he evaluates players. A week before that, we had Celtics assistant Micah Shrewsbury. That was really cool to talk about his career, and also, again, small things. You know, with my coaching background, I like to pick the coach's brains a little bit and find out how Brad Stevens and the Celtics teach shot selection, and had Jim Calhoun on there talking about the UConn legacy and building that program. So we've been fortunate that a lot of these great coaches and other people in the basketball industry have been so generous with their time, and that's our goal, just to provide as much insight from various levels of the game and just make it as interesting as possible.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Once again, that's the Upside podcast, available, of course, through the Apple Podcast Store and many other places where you could find your podcast. That's the Upside podcast presented by YurView. So back to this one, 18 minutes on the clock for the start of the second half. Scoring leaders thus far, Bryce Godine with 12, Cole Swider with 10 for St. Andrews, and for Tilton, it has been Eric Beckett leading the way with 11 points. We talked about yesterday, Tilton going into double overtime in that marathon 118-116 victory over South Kent in the semis. How much of a factor do you think that's going to be here in the second half?
Well, I think it could be significant. As I said, you know, Marcus Zagorowski, who had 57 yesterday, I think he only had 4 in the first half. Is that right?
Yep, 4 for Marcus and 8 for his brother Max as Tilton turns it over right out of the gate. Kolek the other way. Acrobatic move with the left hand.
Tyler Kolek continuing to show out here, really stepping up for this St. Andrews team. But to your question, Mike, I think fresh legs is really important. It's not that St. Andrews is, maybe they're fresher. You see that play there from Zagorowski, continuing to go right at the defense, the body control, but his jumper was a little short in that first half, and that's usually an indication of just some heavy legs.
So see if they could snap out of that and find another level here down the stretch for the final 17 now, as we have a foul going against Tilton. And that is going to be the second foul on Max Zagorowski, putting Cole Swider at the line, shooting 2.
Zagorowski has a tough job here today in terms of containing Swider. It's actually a matchup he's historically done fairly well at, as Swider doesn't get the roll on the free throw line, but that is no easy task to control Swider on one end and then be able to space the floor and knock down shots on the other.
So Swider misses the first, cans the second. He now has 13 to lead all scorers. Perimeter ball movement now, finds its way to Zagorowski, now over for Higginson. Down the lane and in and one. The senior out of South Ozone Park, New York.
Well, Dylan Hinkson can't guard Christian, and so that's just very simply, you have to be at least on his right hand and take away that strong side drive, because that's just way too easy. You know, Grant doesn't have the foot speed, so he's got to be in the right position.
However, can't complete the three-point play. Back the other way now, Godine. And the Saints. We are all knotted up at 47. To the outside it goes. Kolick trying to get the drop on Beckett. Little fadeaway won't go. Woods there to clean it up for Tilton. Zagorowski, a little speed burst down the lane and in.
His ability to accelerate in the open floor is so underrated. And again, that layup making ability on a day when his jumper's not fallen yet, finishing at the rim.
Kolick making it look easy from the outside. A man flying by him in the form of Hinkson.
He's having a day, and it's not just the shot, but it's the presence of mind to relocate to the corner on that initial dribble penetration.
Woods on the far side, dumps it in for Max Zagorowski. Back outside, Beckett, good look for three, and that one off the side of the rim. 2 minutes gone by here in the second half. Bryson Godine will back it out and leave it for Baum. Swider now in that familiar matchup against Max Zagorowski. Kolick for three, he's feeling it, but
yeah, that was a bit of a heat check.
Can't get that one to go. A long rebound found its way to Hinkson, and now Marcus Zagorowski gets around one, draws the contact with the body of Baum, and that is going to be 3 personals on Robert Baum, the second Saint with 3, as Nevin Zink picked one up in the final minute of the first half.
Well, it's an almost impossible position for Baum to be in there, guarding Zagorowski coming downhill, and his teammates not shrinking the floor at all. The help side defenders have got to be in gaps there. There was just too many driving lanes, too wide of driving lanes for a player of Zagorowski's talent.
They get it in for Hinkson.
That's a hook, yep.
And he definitely hooked around that time, clear as day. And that'll be the 3rd personal on Hinkson now. Really the only Ram in any kind of foul trouble, with 15 and a half to go in the second half. Constant swings it for Swider. A little fadeaway jumper won't go. A rebound that time by Hinkson, and here comes Zagorowski. Has it poked from behind by Constant, but it'll stay with the Rams.
Yeah, he continues to just get downhill so easily in the open floor.
They get it in for Woods. He drops it back now. Marcus Zagorowski running the show. Beckett.
St. Andrews in zone here.
Beckett, the kick out. Zagorowski for three, and that one gets stuck up on the shot clock. An unfortunate bounce off the miss, and it'll go to the Saints.
Looks like both teams sucking a little wind getting back on that possession.
And it's been a pretty frantic pace here today. Swider leaves it back now for Kolick. And around it comes now. Godine into the lane against Beckett. Gets his own rebound off the glass and in.
Well, he doesn't yet have the body to absorb that type of bump, but the quick leaping ability to get his own offensive rebound and then put it back in.
St. Andrews now enjoying a 3-point lead. Will it be gone with this shot? Indeed it will, just like that. Marcus Zagorowski ties things up.
Well, from the time that one left his hand, you could see it had better loft than some of his shots in the opening half. So he got some air on under the ball, and if he can heat up, look out, because he was incredible according to all reports yesterday.
Well, he had 4 points in the first half, already 7 here in the second for Marcus Zagorowski. Swider not happy with the call there. although it remains St. Andrews ball.
And, you know, I think both teams have to do a better job of playing through contact and not whining about it, quite frankly.
Especially at this stage of the championship game. Three-pointer is good. Hand in the face of Bryson Godine, doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's coming on strong. I mean, he's had, I think that's the third or fourth time I've said wow today. Just some big-time plays.
Zegarowski finds his way inside again, slipping right through the heart of the defense for another layup.
Well, how about the Euro step and ability to just navigate that path through traffic? And again, the layup-making ability has not missed too many at the rim here today.
Godine trying to match him, now has Kolick. Around it goes for Dylan Grant. Godine now, little scoop shot, doesn't go. Swider thought he had some contact, and again, maybe complaining a little bit too much after the fact.
Yeah, he's got to play through it.
That call really hasn't been there all game long. Zegarowski now trying to lull the defender Kolick to sleep. Now the speed burst again. Won't go, but what a follow-up by Hinkson.
Now Tilton takes the 1-point lead, but maybe more importantly, they've got the momentum in this game.
You just feel the quiet confidence of Marcus Zegarowski as he is willing his team right now. Leading by example. Godine to pull up three. In and out. And last touched by Constant as he went flying into the table here courtside. Gutsy effort, but just couldn't get the ball back.
Well, that's the type of player he is. The freshman guard, he is a tough kid, though.
He's going to get a quick rest. Handshake from assistant coach John O'Shea. And now Zegarowski calls out the next play with 12 and a half to go. It's been a tight affair pretty much since the opening tip. Zegarowski for three, and
here he comes.
He is in the zone right now. 16 points now. 12 of them in the second half. Swider trying to answer off the glass and in as he took it right at Max Zegarowski.
And this is what everybody waited for. The two best players on the floor, both starting to take over the game.
Marcus Zegarowski now finds his brother Max. To the rim and in. Was able to get around Kolick.
Well, and he sold the fact that he was going to kick it out to the shooter, and instead he kept on going.
Swider now. Got hung up. Couldn't go. A lot of contact, and Zegarowski comes away with it. Porter now on the run in the finish. Timeout called. Coach Michael Hart is heated on the bench right now. Felt that Swider was foul. Break in the action. We'll take 1-2 with Tilton leading this one 63-57. We'll be back with more for you right here on YurView.
Maddie always she gave it her hardest, and what she wanted everyone else to do was to give it their hardest.
She always put everyone before herself in every situation.
Her personality, it's just she was born to be a leader.
She lit up every single room when she walked in it, and she just had so much love for everyone in her life.
I think she'd want us to live in the day, and she'd want us to take it one day at a time.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, honoring Mary Maskell. Mary Maskell founded the Women's History Museum of California, one of few museums in the nation focusing on women's contributions in both history and the arts.
She started by collecting historical artifacts, books, clothing, anything that could also be used really as a teaching tool. Mary's aim in starting this organization was to bridge that gap for both students and for adults who didn't have the opportunity to learn as much as they could have about women in history and about their really remarkable contributions.
With exhibits that feature the female spirit, honor the trailblazers, and explore the women's movement, the mission of the museum is to inspire the future by preserving the past.
Our aim is to make sure that we are preserving as many women's stories as possible so that they're available for future generations.
Proudly brought to you by YurView.
This March, binge on the best of Jennifer Lawrence.
My dear Miss Everdean, the game is coming to its end.
Hey! I just want to be friends.
Why did you order Raisin Bran?
I didn't want there to be any mistaking it for a date.
He has pictures of you in his luggage.
What were you doing in their luggage?
I have 2 kids, 2 mortgages, $40,000 in debt, and 1 great idea.
The Jennifer Lawrence Collection. Head to Channel 1 and choose movies.
Hey, Mr. Thompson, you know how you were so mad about going over on your mobile data plan? Well, we're Cox customers. And this is one of over 500,000 Cox hotspots, totally included in most Cox internet packages. Look, go to your mobile settings, click on Cox Wi-Fi, then plug in your Cox username and password, and then you're on Wi-Fi. And you could, like, stream that video of my band, literally no problem.
Find free hotspots because you're a Cox high-speed internet customer. Cox.com/learn.
And welcome back to the Murray Center. Apologies for the technical difficulties here in Providence, but 9:54 remaining.
What'd I miss?
And Tilton has expanded on their lead, 72-60. While we were gone, Bryson Godine hit a 3, but now Tilton in the midst of a 9-0 run. A fancy layup from Zagorowski, Connolly a 3, Hinkson a big dunk, and then a layup for Cameron Parker. As the largest lead of the day for either team. Tilton on fire here. Can they sustain it for the final 10 minutes?
Well, I think it's been defensive intensity coupled by some bad shot selection from St. Andrews that have led to runouts for Tilton.
Couple of chances on the inside missed by Zink. Parker now will dribble to the near side and hold up for the moment. Connolly swinging it for Hinkson. Inside they go. Beckett, skip pass. Parker thought about 3, now dribbles inside. Very quick ball movement results in a 3-point attempt for Zagorowski. Doesn't go. Kolick a rebound, and here comes Baum.
You know, their spacing and ball movement really fun to watch, though.
Godine, though, hammering it home for the Saints.
Another flash from the junior guard. The C's opened. He split him.
Connolly. Nifty little dish that time. Picking up the dime as Zagorowski finishes.
Cal Connolly, again, just a terrific feel for the game. That time it was a lazy closeout from Cole Swider. He drove it, got right into the lane, made the pretty pass.
Swider, good look for 3, drains it. Connolly looking for a foul. Not going to get it. Hinkson Working it against Zink.
St. Andrews wants to get back in the game. They've got to string together some stops here.
Connolly leaves it for Hinkson. Hinkson trying to penetrate on the baseline. Won't go. Ball loose. And Hinkson able to get it. Beckett tripped on the way in. He'll head to the line shooting 2.
Well, there were 3 white jerseys there, and it was the one guy wearing a black jersey who came up with the ball. Christian Hinkson wanted it more, and he got it.
You could feel the frustration now for St. Andrews, getting the feeling that things aren't going their way. Tilton taking full advantage, and the hustle plays going the way of the Rams as well.
Well, that's the thing. In games like this, you see so often the teams that are going to win are the ones who, in moments of adversity, they fight through it. You don't see them start to complain about officiating or anything like that. They're going to fight through the level of contact, and that's what Tilton has done in the last few minutes.
So 10-point advantage now for the #1 seeded Tilton Rams. Beckett, who had 11 points to lead the Rams at the half. Looks smooth on that one.
Lead back to 11 now. And again, St. Andrews going to have to do this with defense.
Past the midway point now of the second half. Kolick pulls up for 3, won't go. Parker the rebound. Parker, little stutter step to get around Baum. And contact on the floor, so no free throws coming up, but possession remains in favor of the Rams. St. Andrews fans looking for a travel that time,
but it wasn't.
Too much contact.
But it wasn't. They got to look for stops, not travels and fouls.
So after a quick rest for Marcus Zagorowski, he returns to the floor. Connolly trying to set up for a 3. Ran into trouble, and now Zagorowski with plenty of time on the shot clock. Max Zagorowski launches the 3, and that one rattles in and out.
That would have been huge. Would have pushed the lead to 14.
Slider trying to take things into his own hands. Lost the handle, mostly due to Cal Connolly. And then a foul by Kolick.
And that's the call that Cole has consistently objected about here today, but that's not a foul. I mean, he's got to make the defender straight up, and if anything, he's backpedaling. Cole's just bullying his way into it. He's got to do something to avoid that contact, make a secondary move, or kick it out to an open shooter.
Zagorowski now pops it over for Parker and quickly ahead, and Connolly able to save it. Hinkson, Zagorowski, the floater.
They just play with such great spacing. They pass the ball so well. It's fun to watch.
Tilton feeling it here in the second half. Opened up a 13-point advantage. Largest of the day, but that one, smooth finish from Bryson Godine.
You know what? He's still got some stuff to learn in terms of spacing and picking his moments and stuff like that, but the sheer talent that Godine has shown today has been really impressive.
Just a junior, he'll have another year before heading out to Syracuse. Here's Zagorowski leaving it for his brother, and he hits pay dirt that time. Big three-point hoop for Max Zagorowski.
And that one pushes it to 14. If you're gonna go zone, you better know where the shooters are, and Max Zagorowski is certainly a shooter.
And an offensive foul to boot. Coach Hart can't believe it. Things falling apart here for St. Andrews. Foul is going to be charged to Dylan Grant. Number 2 on the day for him. And Tilton riding some serious momentum here. Zagorowski, that speed, kicks it out for Connolly, bounces off one man, has Zagorowski back behind him. Three-pointer won't go. Connolly another rebound.
You can almost tell the ones that are going to go in almost immediately after it leaves his hand.
Connolly the miss. Hinkson another rebound, but bounces it off those fancy purple shoes. Checking in now for the Saints, Nevin Zink. And the body language right now not looking great for St. Andrews.
No, it's a little bit of a defeatist mindset, and as I said, it's got to start with defense. They're going to be able to score, but the ability to stop Tilton starts with not giving them easy runouts based on bad shots.
Swider trying to shake free of Hinkson. Strong take to the rim, and that time was able to find the seam. Timeout called by St. Andrews as they want to talk things over here with 5:46 remaining in the second half. We'll step aside as well. 12-point game. We'll be back with more from the NEPSAC Class AA Championship here on YurView. Back here at the Murray Center in Providence, 81-69, Tilton leading St. Andrews, the #1 versus the #2 seed in the NEPSAC Class AA Championship. Mike Mancuso alongside Adam Finkelstein, and we've been treated to another great performance. Tilton, though, taking over here in the second half and really playing with a little bit more swagger than we saw from them in the first.
Well, and I think the common denominator, both in this game and in the first game of the day, is that the unselfish teams have been the ones that have been successful. Tilton playing very much the way that Choate did in the first game, and that their unselfishness and all-around passing has been exemplary.
And up to this point, doesn't seem like tired legs affecting Tilton as much as we may have thought, considering that grueling double overtime game yesterday afternoon against South Kent.
No, it seemed like in the first half maybe it was a little bit more, but in the second half they've gotten some momentum and some adrenaline that have given them a shot. It's probably going to hit them once they go sit down in the locker room.
Hinkson fighting for it on the inside, able to kick it out. Zegarowski thought about three, gets it to his brother. Marcus now will launch it. Too strong. Beckett fighting for the rebound, and ooh, they're going to get the foul on Beckett.
Well, that's as good of a defensive possession as St. Andrews has had in this second half. They were more active. They were running shooters off the line. So that's a good sign for the Saints here if they're hoping to mount a late comeback.
No, and time certainly of the essence now for the Saints. Not much left here as we approach 5 minutes remaining. Godine, tough move to the rack and in.
Similar signs offensively now, playing in the flow instead of freelancing. Good couple of possessions here from St. Andrews.
Press broken by Tilton as Zegarowski now backs it out.
Cole Swider calling for help. He knows that's a mismatch.
Beckett for three, that one. Never got too high above the rim. Spin move by Parker behind the back. Hinkson to finish.
How about that?
Cameron Parker having himself a game this afternoon.
He's left-handed, so to throw a behind-the-back pass with your right hand as a kind of...
while in the air.
Yeah, mid-air improvisation. That was big time.
And Tilton maintaining the 12-point advantage with 4:27 left. Kolick will get it in for Baum. Swider now trying to break free of Hinkson. Kolick now. A little handoff for Swider. Three ball is good.
Hasn't gotten much easy tonight, but give him a little bit of space and he'll make you pay. He's got 23, as does Godine.
Those two almost single-handedly keeping St. Andrews alive. As they got it down to single digits once again. Zegarowski, though, able to hold up, take a couple more seconds off the clock. Porter now for Zegarowski, and oh, he thought he had that one. Godine back the other way now. Looking for a little help. Baum there to meet him.
Big possession here.
Godine thought about three. Hinkson, though, came charging at him. Swings it out. Kolick for three, no good. And Parker had it for a moment, but couldn't hold on. And it'll go back to the Saints.
St. Andrews will get a new shot clock here. Let's see what they have on their out of bounds under. Swider's dying for a look.
Zink
such a
turned it
costly
over. It's going to be a fast break opportunity. Zagorowski, the safe layup. And look at Coach Hart all the way onto the floor in center court.
He was doing a little bit of a defensive slide there.
And back the other way, Baum drawing contact with presumably Hinkson.
One of these days, we got to get Coach Hart mic'd up. I mean, it wouldn't be PG rated, but it would be worth the cost of admission.
You could play that on the podcast.
Yeah, you know, that's not a bad idea.
So here we go, Baum at the line, shooting 2 with his team down by 11. And that was indeed the 4th foul on Hinkson.
So a chance to cut it to single digits and then set your full court defense.
Connolly back in now.
The problem with trying to press Tilton is they have so many decision makers and ball handlers on the floor. I mean, when you've got Marcus Zagorowski and Cam Parker, you've got 2 ball handlers, 2 elite decision makers, and then you add Max Zagorowski and Cal Connolly to that, and everybody's reliable with the ball in their hands.
Zagorowski, an acrobatic play to keep it alive, and Connolly on the inside, the finish.
2 different passes there that should have been turnovers, and 2, I mean, we're talking like Randy Moss wide receiver-like catches.
Swider, though, with a big answer. Gets it to an 8-point game, but back the other way, Parker the lay-in for 2. Back and forth we go here at the Murray Center. Time beginning to run out for St. Andrews. Do they have enough left in the tank? Swider, who has 26 points, has Zink, who converts from close.
Yep, good decision. Would have been easy for him to fire a tough one there. Big defensive play.
Godine, the steal, the layup. St. Andrews within 6. And then Swider picking up the foul. He can't believe it. That is his 3rd.
I think logically he knows that's a foul.
Tilton has led by as many as 13 in the second half. We've seen that lead go down to 6. But Parker, who's been outstanding today, a chance. A 1-and-1 here.
These are big shots.
First one is good. Parker continuing to feel it here. He's got 20.
Still plenty of time in this one, though.
21 now for the senior from Portland, Oregon.
Baum almost traveled there.
Then he collides with Swider. Under 2 minutes to go. Swider spin down the lane, rejected by Beckett, but
see, that's the move he didn't make for the majority of the game. When he cut off, he was just trying to bully through that contact initially. That spin is a good counter for him.
Second foul on Beckett has Swider at the line, shooting 2. Leading all scorers with 26 right now. .27 for the soon-to-be Villanova Wildcat. Swider, the captain of this team, and you've seen him just try to lead by example here in the second half and try to take things over for the Saints.
Yeah, I think, again, you know, games like this are just part of these kids' developments. These are stages that they really haven't seen, and this many people and this much energy in the gym, so they're trying to figure out how to lead when they just, you know, haven't. This is just part of their development. It's games like these that are going to help them when they're in big games at the next level.
So timeout called by Tilton as head coach Marcus O'Neill wants to make sure he gets everyone on the same page here for the stretch run. 1:43 left and a 6-point game. And if you're in the huddle right now for Tilton, what kind of things do you think they're making sure everyone knows about at this point?
Well, you're going to anticipate pressure from St. Andrews. So you're talking about your press offense and whatever the rotations are of that. But the fundamentals are make sure you're snapping your passes, make sure as receivers you are coming to the basketball and not waiting for it to get to you. And you want to make those passes as short and crisp as possible while still spacing the floor. So it's a little bit of a fine line. You want to space the floor, but make sure that you are shortening the pass as a receiver by coming to it.
So 103 seconds left here in Providence to decide the NEPSAC Class AA Championship. Tilton with possession here. Zagorowski met by Kolick. Beckett, good look for three. Got it.
Huge shot.
Confident stroke out of Eric Beckett again. He has 16 with 4 3-pointers. With the answer, bomb, nothing but net. And St. Andrews will call timeout.
Well, give the Saints credit. They won't go away. Tilton has not given them much daylight at all, but St. Andrews continuing the fight.
That was a big time shot that time. Baum able to deliver it from range. 10 points now for him. 28 points for Cole Swider and 25 for Bryson Godine. The big three for St. Andrews.
Even Kolick stepping up with 16. I mean, they've scored enough points to win here. This has just been Tilton doing such a good job spacing the floor, making extra passes, and then knocking down open shots.
212 points for Tilton combined yesterday and today so far.
It's been a pretty good 24 hours offensively, I'll tell you that.
Certainly have been involved in a couple of track meets, have the Rams. Do they have enough left, though, to hold on to what is now a 6-point lead? And here's where you talk about that all-important press offense going against the full-court press out of St. Andrews. They'll have Max Zagorowski inbounding the ball with his brother Marcus and Cameron Parker as the recipients.
Interesting to see if St. Andrews will foul anyone here. I don't know that there's any weak link free throw shooters on the floor. Tilton basically has no true bigs out there.
Approaching 1 minute left in the second half. Zagorowski for Zagorowski. Someone's got to be open. Connolly. And now Marcus Zagorowski for three. In and out. Slider on the move quickly. Kolick. Godine had to bring it back.
They got to get some spacing.
Kolick. Slider now for three. Too strong. Long rebound comes to Beckett. He finds Parker. 2-on-1 break. Connolly off the glass and in. And one. Oh my.
Absolutely huge.
Baum flying by at the last moment. Getting called for his 4th personal. And Connolly, a chance for the and one now and a chance to make it a 9-point game.
You know what? Both of those guys are uncommitted. Conley, Parker, and they're just smart, productive, efficient basketball players.
Connolly can't complete the 3-point play. Slider now the other way. Tiptoeing through the lane, and they're going to get a foul on Beckett. Incredulous look on his face. Seemed that Swider maybe getting a little bit out of control there, but either way, he'll be at the line shooting 1 and 1. So obviously the first one utterly important here for Cole Swider. Delivers.
Again, chance to make it just a 2-possession game. So St. Andrews now in a position where we're going to have to try and deny the ball in bounds, and then probably whether or not they go for one quick trap, we'll see, but otherwise they're going to have to foul immediately.
Parker, triple team.
Wow, no call.
Slider able to convert. Coach O'Neill, apoplectic. I can't say I blame him. 3 guys seem to be grabbing Parker there, and no call made.
That was quite a turn of events.
So it becomes a 4-point game. The Tilton bench is heated. 19.1 left. It'll be Tilton ball coming out of the timeout. Cameron Parker trying to split through a triple team, coughed up the ball. And St. Andrews making them pay. An interesting murmur over the crowd here at the Murray Center.
That was a pretty shocking turn of events. But, you know, this is still Tilton's game. 4-point lead, ball in their hands, 19 seconds to play. They take care of the ball and make free throws here. They're going to be the champs.
So the 5 on the floor for Tilton. Beckett, Connolly, the 2 Zagorowskis, and Cameron Parker. And referees are still going to talk things over for a moment as Baum is sent over to see the trainer. Seems to have maybe a little bit of a blood issue at this point. And that means St. Andrews will bring in Cameron Wilkins.
Essentially right now, you are denying the ball in bounds and then trying to commit a foul. And as that last possession showed, when trying to commit that foul, you want to go elbow down in an attempt to get a steal.
A lot of contact there before the ball was even able to be inbounded, and Tilton forced to call timeout again.
But to get back to that point, that's the example of why, from a coaching perspective, when you're teaching your kids how to foul, in a situation like this where you're trying to give the foul, you teach them elbow down. You swipe at the ball elbow down. So if for some reason the official doesn't see it or the call doesn't get made, the ball's going to be dislodged and you have a chance to create offense from your defense like we just saw.
The question now becomes, can the Tilton players keep their heads about them now? A little bit of adversity in some calls, some non-calls. And a great effort from St. Andrews, too.
I mean, they've got a rightful, that was a foul, and it should have been called. The officials missed it. But, again, the ball is still in their court. This is their game to win.
So it'll be Max Zegorowski with Parker and his brother Marcus, the closest Tilton players to him. Beckett now charging through and is wrapped up. And only about 2.5 seconds going off the clock. Beckett will head to the line. He's been a cool customer so far this afternoon, but now the pressure really on here.
Well, it is, and no matter what happens there, you can see. Not sure what Eric Beckett was doing there. Looked like he was checking out the ball.
2 shots coming up now for the junior out of Ajax, Ontario. Misses on the first. Checking back in, Robert Baum with the big Band-Aid across his lip. Second one from Beckett is good. So a 5-point game. Godine quickly down the lane. The kick out for Baum. Good foot speed by Zegorowski, and they get him for the foul. He can't believe it. Tilton players can only manage smiles at this point as heading to the line, Robert Baum with under 10 seconds to play.
Well, again, ball still in Tilton's court here, even with 2 made free throws, 3-point game.
And a miss and rebound by Beckett. Zegorowski running around as fast as possible. Swider forced the foul.
And that should about do it. He can make this a 3-possession game with 2 free throws here.
Exactly who Tilton wants at the line. Marcus Zegorowski will be heading to Creighton. They'll have 2 opportunities here at the line to increase the lead. First one is good, and now the big one to make it a 3-possession game. Marcus Zegorowski, a chance to seal the deal. He's got 21, make it 22. Swider. Baum now for 3, no good, and that will do it. Tilton takes home the NEPSAC Class AA championship. Some of their fans storming onto the court as they hold off a very gritty St. Andrews squad, 99-92. What an effort from both sides. You got to hand it to Tilton, though, after that marathon game yesterday. Plenty of pep in their step to take home the title.
Well, you said it, to have the mental and physical toughness to bounce back from that incredibly long game yesterday and put together the type of game they played here today. Just so impressed with their composure, the way they moved the ball and then made shots. That is a tough thing to do on tired legs.
So the final score, 99-92. We're going to step aside for just a few moments. When we return, Adam will be standing by with our player of the game and head coach, Marcus O'Neill.
YurView celebrates Women's History Month, honoring Mary Maskell. Mary Maskell founded the Women's History Museum of California, one of few museums in the nation focusing on women's contributions in both history and the arts.
She started by collecting historical artifacts, books, clothing, anything that could also be used really as a teaching tool. Mary's aim in starting this organization was to bridge that gap for both students and for adults who didn't have the opportunity to learn as much as they could have about women in history and about their really remarkable contributions.
With exhibits that feature the female spirit, honor the trailblazers, and explore the women's movement, the mission of the museum is to inspire the future by preserving the past.
Our aim is to make sure that we are preserving as many women's stories as possible so that they're available for future generations.
Proudly brought to you by YurView.
This March, binge on the best of Jennifer Lawrence.
My dear Miss Evertine, the game is coming to its end.
I just want to be friends.
Why did you order Raisin Bran?
I didn't want there to be any mistaking it for a date.
He has pictures of you in his luggage.
What were you doing in their luggage?
I have 2 kids, 2 mortgages, $40,000 in debt, and one great idea.
The Jennifer Lawrence Collection. Head to Channel 1 and choose movies.
Hey, Mr. Thompson, you know how you were so mad about going over on your mobile data plan? Well, we're Cox customers. And this is one of over 500,000 Cox hotspots, totally included in most Cox internet packages. Look, go to your mobile settings, click on Cox Wi-Fi, then plug in your Cox username and password, and then you're on Wi-Fi. And you could, like, stream that video of my band, literally no problem.
Find free hotspots because you're a Cox high-speed internet customer. Cox.com/learn.
And welcome back to the Murray Center, where Tilton has just claimed the NEPSAC Class AA Championship title, defeating St. Andrews 99-92. Time to send it over to Adam Finkelstein, who's standing by with head coach Marcus O'Neill and the MVP, Marcus Zegarowski.
Here with Tilton head coach Marcus O'Neill and the MVP Marcus Zegarowski. Coach, first with you. You guys played a double overtime game yesterday. You came out and shared the ball beautifully and made shots. What did you think of your kids' effort today?
Our guys worked hard as they've worked hard all year, so you know, that hasn't been a question with this team. That's why we've had a lot of wins, and even when we get down, they still fight, and they always have a comeback in them, so really proud.
Now, we're going to talk about this guy soon enough, but talk to me about some of the other guys who made huge contributions, not just tonight, but through the course of the season.
Well, this guy has a brother, Max, and he's been a big-time player for us. He has incredible instincts. In the game yesterday, he didn't make a ton of threes, but he had clutch rebounds and the big-time plays. We got Eric Beckett, who hit a big shot here. He's played great. We're happy to have him back. And then Cam Parker off the bench, he changes the game. He's electric with his speed. And then, of course, you got Woods, Hinkson, all those guys played really tough. And then Cal Conley had probably his best game of the year tonight. So.
And again, just the way you guys collectively moved it, so impressive. Now, this guy, 57 points yesterday, and only 23 today, but averaging 40 in the last 24 hours. That's pretty good. I'm joking, man. So tell me, one, how are you? Can you feel your legs? How tired are you?
I mean, after the game yesterday, I was definitely tired. I mean, what I did was, you know, like ice my knees, stretch for like 2 hours long, and then, you know, I've been sore all year. I mean, we played 30 games. I mean, coach has had one of the hardest schedules for us this year, so, you know, it really paid off for these moments right now.
You lost in this game a year ago. What was the mindset coming out of that game or coming into this season? How much did last year help you guys here today?
I mean, definitely with experience. I mean, last year I told coach that, you know, we'll definitely be back next year and we're going to win it next year. So, you know, I worked 365 days to have this moment, and it feels so good.
Nothing much more to say than that. 365 days later, Tilton's got another AA championship. Back to you, Mike.
And thank you, Adam. That was Adam Finkelstein with head coach Marcus O'Neill and the MVP of the Class AA championship game, Marcus Zegarowski. The number 1 seeded Tilton Rams holding off St. Andrews 99-92 in game 2 of our triple header here today in Providence. We hope you could join us at the top of the hour for the Class AAA championship game. That's coming your way next here on YurView for our entire team here on YurView, and my broadcast partner, Adam Finkelstein. We'll see you at the top of the hour.
Hey now everybody, welcome to the best of Chef to Go. Over the years, we visited so many outstanding